The most awkward moment ever that happened. My experience is very similar. I find the fans are really cool, and it's fun to get to meet everybody and all that. But there was one time that really sticks out. It was years ago, maybe one of my first conventions ever. And it was in a city, I'm not going to mention where it was, Detroit. And, which, by the way, anyway. So it happens to be in November, which was over the weekend of my birthday. So the con surprised me and took me out to dinner, and they had a birthday cake with different characters I had done as icing, and the cake was really nice. And so we had about half the cake, and the rest we put in a little white cake box. And it's Friday night, and I'm walking back through the hotel ballroom to my room, and all I want to do, and so I'm walking with this cake box, and all I want to do is go to my room, face plant into the cake, and eat and cry as usual. But tonight, it would be different. So I'm walking down, all of a sudden, as if a puff of smoke, this woman appears, and she says, "Hi." And she said, "Yeah, I have a favorite anime character." I said, "You're at the right place. This is an anime con." And she said, "Yeah, but I like to keep my favorite anime character really close to my body." The cake gets heavy. So now I say, "Wonderful." And she says, "Do you want to see what I mean?" Before I have a chance to say, "No," it's like the Matrix, "no," she turns around, pulls her pants down. And this is a crowded hallway, like people are walking past, and she's bent forward in front of me, and I'm holding the cake behind her with wide eyes. And I'm now face to face with yellow Hello Kitty panties. And a lot of real estate. So she then turns around, zips up, luckily, and she's looking at me now with a red face, a little bit of sweat, like, "If you like that?" And I said, "Gotta go!" And I ran my room, and I ate and cried. Now that was Friday. Cut to Sunday, closing ceremonies. It's over. We're saying the thing, I remember that time when I said I was going to have a great time? Well, I did. Thanks, everybody. Now, there's a car waiting for me to take to the airport. I have baggage behind me. So it's a ballroom with about as many people here. And by applause, and I'm walking down pulling the luggage, going to the van. Suddenly, you guessed it. Remember me? I think I do. And she said, "Guess what I'm wearing?" And I was like, "Could it be that you're..." And before I had a chance to finish that lovely retort, turns around, now with more confidence, further down, behind the knee, and I'm staring at pink Hello Kitty panties. And first of all, I'm just glad they were in the yellow. And apparently she bought the Hello Kitty fun pack. So then she turns around and she says, "What do you think of that?" And I said, "Gotta go!" And so from this day forward, I hate Hello Kitty, and people give me Hello Kitty stuff all the time.
There's going to be 2 autograph sessions, and the vendor's room does sell Hello Kitty stuff.
そんなに面白い話ないからどうしようかな。
I don't have something that funny of a story, so.
Sometimes at my autograph session, people ask me to get married. Or
I did that twice, okay? Come on.
You're drunk.
And sometimes they ask why not.
So rude.
Yeah.
Why can't you say no?
So I said, show me your resume. If you were to ask me to get married with me, you should show me your bank account and resume. But if nothing, you never ask me again. So next, like that.
Instead, they turn around and show you their Hello Kitty underwear.
The university does have a print shop, and I will break you in half. Okay? All right, hands up. Front row this time. I'll get you next. Go.
So Brad, you boys rock in Black Lagoon.
Yes.
So at the beginning, he had really good moral standing. He kind of refused what most of the crew were doing. But then throughout the series, he changed, and at the end of Blood Trails, he had changed his persona and he acted a lot differently. My question for you is, how did you feel going in to record those? How did you feel about Rock changing? And if Black Lagoon was to be licensed for a 4th season, do you think he's going to continue changing?
My big question with that series, if we can carry on with the series, is he actually going to have a proper date with Revy at some point? I mean, he's growing, like he's finally growing up and getting tougher, and you'll see in Roberta's Blood Trail that he's doing a lot more planning and a lot less puking over the side of boats and things, right? Yeah. Flipping off helicopters and whatnot. But no, it was a lot of fun. That was a great show to work on, and we were lucky that it ended, and then you heard grumblings that there was going to be some more installments. We got all excited, and that was one of the cases where when we started working on that series, it was done through Genion, and so we had just finished recording the 2nd season, and then Genion kind of vanished, so we weren't sure what was going to happen with the 2nd season. Funimation bought it out of Texas, and they had all the audio that we had done, so they released it as Genion would have. Now, when it came to the 3rd installment, Funimation had the rights to it, so we didn't know what was going to happen. And I was really concerned because at this point, if they recast Revy, I would be extremely upset because Marika does such a good job as this really potty mouth, tattooed, butt-kicking, Lara Croft type character, for those of you that don't know Black Lagoon. And she's a very sweet, unassuming young woman. And then you hear some of the things that come out of her mouth. And a lot of the stuff did not make the cut. Like I know the final line that she has in the end of the 2nd season, they recorded probably about 7 alternate takes of it. And then so I was really curious to see which one they actually went with. And they went with the one that was about 1 on the scale of 1 to 10, and by the time like the 7th or 8th one was there, it was way past 13 to 15. Like it got pretty gnarly and pretty nasty in a hurry. Did I answer your question at all? No.
I just kind of asked how you felt with voicing Roxy in this change.
I mean, as an actor, that's something you always want, right? Now, I've been kind of fortunate, even working on Death Note. It's rare that when you go for an audition for a show, you get to see the entire scope of the character. Because usually, especially with American cartoons, it's season 1, episode 1. We don't really know what's going to happen. But with a lot of these anime shows, it's kind of nice because this whole series has been released before, like for a show like Death Note and for Black Lagoon to some degree. So my audition for Death Note, I had 1 page of audition script, sides as we call them in the books. And I could see, because they had taken bits and pieces from the entire entire series, sorry. So from the first line to the last line, it was mild-mannered Japanese student, crazy maniacal laughter, right? And so you could see that scope. Black Lagoon was a little bit different because we didn't know about Roberta's Blood Trail at some point. So I could see him kind of go in a certain direction, so it was really empowering for me, I guess, when we got to finally work on Roberta's Blood Trail, to see him growing up right in front of my very eyes and becoming a bit more toughened by the world that he's living in. So a pretty cool experience as a fan of the show and as an actor getting portrayed the character. That was a long-winded answer. I should probably stop. The end.
Yep, this is for the entire villains. Do you guys play them? Do you guys enjoy them? And do you guys have a favorite one?
Villains.
You're up.
No, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, well, my opinion is that villains always get the best lines. And it's a part of you, by the way, that is there that you you're not a bad person, but there are these thoughts that are in you. You may or may not suppress, but I knew it. I know where she's going. Oh my gosh. Well, nothing else matters. Welcome to my purgatory. This is my tombstone, by the way. couldn't draw well. It's both. What's the question? Yeah, villains get the best lines. They're actually, you get to, in real life, you try to do the right thing typically, but in this case, you get to kind of have a part of you that comes out that's not there. But normally, the hero is just like, let's do it. You're right. Wonderful. Let's go. And the villains have these great lines they get to say. So it's fun to play that side of it too. And my favorite so far, there's a character in Sengoku Basara called Hanbei that I really liked. And there's also, well, I guess, because it was such a unique experience, I guess I would go Gluttony and Full Metal. Because that was pretty interesting. And nobody rocks the black unitard like Gluttony. So, yeah, anyone? Yeah.
And yeah, but I like acting as a Ran, but he's you. Because usually in Japan, people really like a very cute voice. But see, you guys know my voice is not so cute. So always my character is like a enemy or main character, with very cute young girl. So I can beat them in their story, only in the story. So I can sure. I can have my friend like yeah. But I forgot that. How many times did I voice lines? I don't know, many times. But
Too many to count.
Too much to count. That, yeah, I'm having fun.
I mean, listen to me. I sound like a prepubescent, like, 7th grader, right? So I don't cast for a whole lot of villains. And there's still debate on what constitutes a villain too. Like for anybody who's seen Death Note, Light is a hero, not a villain.
He's a gray.
Some of you agree with me. Yeah, it's a gray area for sure. The very first cartoon series that I ever worked on as a kid is probably one of the more villainous characters that I played. It was a show called My Little Ponytails. And I played a character named Ace, and he was a badass pony. Like in the grand scheme of pony verse and stuff, right? Like he was mean to some of the girl ponies.
Yeah.
And he was bitter at times. A true villain in every sense of the word. With cute little pony ears and a cutie mark with a soccer ball on his butt. I haven't played a ton of villains, so I want to play more.
Cute. All right.